Alright, I am doing research on vaccine preventable diseases and focusing on pertussis. So, I always like to start out with Google Scholar. And I'm going to see general, I want to know general numbers and statistics of outbreaks. So I'm going to say United States pertussis epidemic trends. See what that comes up with. So I always sort it by relevance, but also make sure that it is a current source. So within 5 years, let's say from 2014 to 2019. Okay. So I create a search and then just kind of scroll through it all, see what it comes up with. If there's anything useful right off the bat. And then I also look at the related searches down here, see if there's the search phrase, difference in search phrases will come up with something else that I'm looking for but didn't think of to search. So a big thing about pertussis and protecting against it is vaccination. So I do want to know some about the vaccination coverage. So I'm going to open that in another tab. And let me make sure there wasn't anything up here that diagnostic testing. So I would click on that, but it's not a recent study, so it's kind of irrelevant. Okay, here we go. So this is 2014, within the last 5 years, and it's talking about, so globally, it's kind of focusing on United States, but the epidemic trends and their potential causes, that might be something good to look at. So I'm going to open that in another tab. Another big thing about pertussis is how dangerous it is for kids, especially young children. So sources of infant pertussis in the United States, and that's from 2015, and that's American Academy of Pediatrics, so I know it's a reliable source. It's appeared in all, that's what I like about the Google Scholar. It comes up with, it's all peer-reviewed scholarly journals, so I don't have to worry about it being an unreliable source. And that one would also be good, the across the globe trends, but that's dating 2000 to 2013, which is outside of my range that I want to be looking at. Okay, so let's look at these, what we got here for it. National and state vaccination coverage among adults age 13 through 17. So still a little old. I'm going to redo my custom range here. 18 to 2019. Search. Because I don't want to be using any information that's out of date or that's been updated in recent years. Vaccination coverage. And that it didn't come up with pertussis, so I'm going to add that in. National, regional, state, selected local area vaccination coverage. So this looks promising. And it does have pertussis in here, so it does talk about it, so I might want to look at that. Put that on a new tab. Okay, this could be good for if you're arguing, if I'm, arguing for vaccination in kids in the U.S., this association between vaccine refusal and with these preventable diseases, this could be a good opposing argument for those who don't vaccinate. So we'll pull that up too. And then I'm going to look down here again since this came up with a new related searches. Okay, so I want to look at it nationally, but I also want to see what the numbers are for a particular state, how they compare. So I'm going to search for Virginia pertussis incidence rate by year. Maybe that might be too specific. Some state vaccination laws. Okay, so this one looks interesting. So the thing with the pertussis vaccinations is it used to be wholesale, but the side effects from it, they stopped using it, but because people stopped using the vaccine, of course it created another resurgence of the disease. So they came up with this acellular vaccine that is supposedly, I don't know if it's so much safer, but less side effects. So this is something that I probably want to know. Okay, so pertussis as just, to be able to write a paper on it, I have to be able to say, well, what it is in the first place, what it does, how it affects the body. This is going to talk about all of those, disease, treatment, and prevention, so I'm going to pull that up. That didn't come up. Sometimes I like to go back and not using Google Scholar, just Google, to come up with like general information about what I'm going to be talking about. So say pertussis incidence rate I want to know what it is by yearly, so by year. And I'm sure it'll come up with, you can change it to specific states or, so, okay, so usually Google will come up with these government sites as well as educational, and so it will still come up with ones that will be reliable. So I'm gonna surveillance trending reporting. So that's gonna show numbers. I want that. And that's by the CDC. So they keep track of all that. What is the history of pertussis in America and other countries? That might be something interesting. That could throw in some information about the history of it overall. Pertussis. But the only thing about using just the regular Google search engine is that it, or maybe you can you? Yeah, no, I don't think you can filter by date. So, oh wait, anytime. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, so I could say from, again, past 5 years, 2014 to 2019. Okay, so this is going to all be recent information. I don't really see anything that's popping out to me, though, so I'm going to focus my search a little more and say Virginia. Okay, so this is going to be in the Virginia Department of Health, so I want that, because that'll be focused on Virginia and not other areas. Okay, so from here I can see it has it all laid out for you, so you can trends, surveillance reports, and these are, it also comes up with images that you can use if you want to be showing, if you have a visual presentation. So these ones, well, it's .org, so I wouldn't be concerned about relying on it, but I do prefer to use the government sites or educational, academic websites for my information. But, like, okay, Virginia Department of Health, this one's great, it gives you everything. And then I always pick out from here, like I can pick out different topics that I can further research in Google Scholar, or so diagnosis of it, the treatment of it, prevention, symptoms, all that good stuff. And I like to just read the abstracts first, get a feel for what the article is about before I start reading the entire thing. And then sometimes they will give you from that article related ones that could be relevant to the topic. I always go to the conclusion in the abstract to see what the outcome of the article was. And most of the time they will just give you the summary or abstract, and then you can choose whether you want to read the entire article. And I like to see if they have it available, the data that they're showing, if it can be used in my paper. Okay, so this one's nice, so it gives you, it's by year and the number of cases for each one. Doesn't look like it's for, they don't have it for Virginia there, though, or for the entire US, so this might not be one that I end up using. Oh, no, that took me to a whole different article. I don't want that. Oh, no it didn't. Let's see. So I'm just skimming through the abstract to see if anything specific that I would want to be putting in my paper is talked about here.